Have you ever been listening to a song, instead of being drawn to lyrics, your attention is immediately drawn to the instrument playing in the back? The power of a single chord or the strum of a string. I'm of course talking about the electric guitar, one of the most influential instruments in history. Today I'm going to be talking about the history of the electric guitar, why it's so popular, and teaching you a few chords. First off, the history. The electric guitar was first invented in 1931 by a man named Alfred Rickenbauer. The instrument was originally called the frying pan due to its shape, basically just a stick and a circle. However, the electric guitar did not start gaining popularity until the mid-1950s due to the growing popularity in rock and roll. Now let's move on to why it's so popular. Of course you've heard electric guitar, but have you really listened? The electric guitar can add so much to a song. Let's talk about one of the most influential electric guitars in history. Now, although this is of course up to personal opinion, one of the most influential guitarists is of course Jimi Hendrix. With one of his most famous songs being Purple Haze, which you may not have realized you've heard, but you probably have. Along with other popular bands and artists, including Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Queen, and Ozzy Osbourne. Okay. Now, some of the benefits of playing guitar, although a lot of people think most people play it just because it looks cool, which, I mean, it does. But there's also a lot of cognitive benefits as well, including improvement of fine motor skills, overall cognitive function, executive function, and can help prevent dementia in adults. Now, remember me mentioning Ozzy Osbourne? Well, I'm going to teach you the intro to one of his most famous songs, Crazy Train. This is a Fender Stratocaster guitar, which Fender was one of the original electric guitar manufacturers. Maybe. If you've ever heard Crazy Train, you probably think it sounds pretty intimidating, but it's a lot simpler than it sounds. The intro of the song mainly consists of power chords. I'm going to teach you a couple today. So, starting off, we're going to start with an F5, which is putting your first finger or your index finger on the low E string on the second fret, and your second or your third finger on the A string on the fourth fret, and your fourth finger on the D string, also on the fourth fret. And you're simply going to strum it twice. Now we'll move on to an A5, A power chord, which is the same shape but moving down to the fifth fret, aka the little dot. Same thing. And then for the third power chord is an E minor, which is once again keeping the same shape or moving the first finger and placing both your third and fourth finger onto the second fret on the A and D string. And then for the fourth and final power chord, you're going to go back to where the A5 was, and you're going to play D minor, which is the same shape, moving down one chord. Like I said, not as complicated as it sounds. But now let's put them all together. And for the intro of Crazy Train, the order of chords is F5, A5, E minor, F5 again, and D minor. Yeah. So today we've gone over the history of the electric guitar, why it's so cool, and you learned a few new chords. Thank you.